Hey everybody, welcome to week 3. All right, so you've gotten through your first full week of class. I think it went pretty well. I'm looking at the work that you submitted, I'm looking at the discussion board post, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. So keep up the good work. I know a lot of times students at this point get kind of anxious because they're not sure if they're doing things right. They're not sure if they're maybe meeting the standards of the class or of the instructor. So let me just kind of assuage any of your fears. I think by and large, the stuff I'm seeing, the work I'm seeing is quite good. So keep doing what you're doing. If you're following those rubrics in the discussion board, in the reflections, and remember they are posted, you're going to be fine. You are going to be fine. I see a lot of people going above and beyond, in fact, and so that's why I have confidence that you're all going to continue to do well. But of course, if there's ever any question, if you have a question about how work should be done or how a discussion board post should look or something, let me know. You can call me, you can text me, you can email me. Some of you have done that. You've said, did I do this right or does it look right? That's perfectly fine. I'm more than happy to look over work or offer you some tips and tricks. But rest assured, what I've been seeing thus far has been good. So where are we going now with week 3? We're going to be getting into Microsoft Office pretty intensely this week and going forward. We're going to start by talking about Microsoft Outlook. So Outlook, as some of you probably know, some of you may not, but Outlook is the email platform that Microsoft uses. So this is part of the Microsoft Office suite. You have access to Outlook. You have your own Outlook account. Hopefully you're using it. So we're going to be talking about Microsoft Outlook. What we're going to find, though, is very quickly, we're going to find that it's far more than just an email platform. So I think the assumption is something like Outlook or Gmail or Yahoo or something else, all they are pretty much is email platforms. You send them, you receive them, you organize them, and boom. Hopefully we're going to find that there are a lot more than this. So often they're called things like information management systems because you're going to be doing a lot more than just sending and receiving emails. There's a calendar function and there is kind of a tasks function and there's a way to keep track of all of your connections. There's lots of things you can do with something like Outlook. So the hope is that this week, through this lecture and through discussion, you're going to find out kind of how broad Outlook really is and how much it can do. Now, the advantage of Microsoft Outlook, as opposed to Gmail or maybe Yahoo or something, Gmail maybe is a little more unique, is that Outlook has that Microsoft Office suite as part of it, but you can access all those things: Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, Skype, all sorts of things from your Outlook account. So it's kind of like that one center hub of a wheel, and all these kind of spokes go out from it. So you can go in a bunch of different directions in Microsoft Office through Outlook, and that's a really unique feature. I say kind of like Gmail, because Gmail does kind of have that feel as well. Gmail is owned by Google, and so from your Gmail account, you can go to Drive, or you can go to Google Sheets or Google Docs or something like that. I do think that Microsoft's suite is far more functional than Google's, to be totally honest. But that's what we're going to be talking about, is kind of what can we do with something like Microsoft Outlook. Now, part of our conversation this week, in discussion certainly, but also in the lecture, is about email etiquette. So it's not just how do we use Outlook. It's not just the bells and whistles and how we can send something to our advisor or to our teacher or something like that, but it's how should we put together, how should we craft a professional email? What makes for a professional email and what doesn't, essentially. So pay careful attention to what you see in the lecture about email etiquette, because that's going to come up in the discussion post or the discussion board this week. It's all about email etiquette. And so there's a scenario in which you're kind of helping somebody learn how to kind of put into practice good email practices and good kind of professional email practices. So there's going to be a small reflection this week on Outlook. There's going to be the discussion board, and there's going to be what's called a check-in. And this is something that we do in all of our classes in week 3. This is your opportunity to tell me how things are going. So if you feel like you're confident, great. If you feel like you're a bit anxious, you need some extra help, let me know. I take very seriously whatever is said in those check-ins. So just this is your opportunity to tell me how things are going. So that is week 3 in a nutshell. I'm going to have another video in my my discussion post for this week in the discussion board. So make sure you actually watch that, because there's going to be some very valuable information in it for this week's discussion. Thanks, folks.